Am I the a-hole for refusing to help my sister out financially even though I can't afford to? I, 34, female, am the eldest of 9 siblings. My sister, Sarah, 24, and I aren't close. I love all of my siblings, and I'm close with all of them, except for her. Growing up, she wouldn't introduce me to her friends and would refuse to acknowledge me at family gatherings over the years. In short, she was distant with me but not my other siblings. After I moved out of my parents' house, Sarah and I grew further apart and didn't see each other except at family functions. She would ignore my attempts at reaching out and or including her in anything that my other siblings and I did together. She didn't come to my wedding. I didn't even know that I'd gotten divorced until 2 years later. She refused to accept my request to add her to socials and never responded to any calls or texts. It hurt, but I didn't want to push, thinking that she might eventually come around so long as I kept the door open. A year ago, she finally accepted my social media request and sent me a DM. It started out as just a, "Hey sister, how are you?" After some awkward small talk, I learned that she's not doing well financially due to her boyfriend losing his job. She asked me if I could lend her some money as she was short for groceries. I agreed and told her that she didn't have to pay me back. I sent what she asked for and a bit extra. She thanked me and asked if we could visit for a proper catch-up. I agreed, and we set it up. The visit came and went, and she didn't show up or answer my call/texts. I assumed that something came up and texted that she let me know when we could reschedule. 2 days later, she DM'd saying her cell phone had been cut off for non-payment. She asked for help to get it reconnected and said she'd pay me back when she could. I agreed and sent it to her. A few days later, and she asked for more money. I sent her the money again, but told her that I can't send anything else until she pays me back because I didn't have any more that I could spare. I felt like I've been used. Then one day she asked for a cab fare. I said that I'd pick her up and drive her myself. She got angry and accused me of not trusting her. She blasted me on a family group chat saying that I was refusing to help her and that I was selfish. Sarah recently posted something about how she loves her family and how much they mean to her. She tagged all of my siblings except for me. 5 minutes later, she sent me a text asking me for money for diapers, and I lost it. I asked her why she only ever contacts me when she wants money, and that I was feeling used. She denied it and said she was angry that I could accuse her of such a thing. I sent her screenshots to prove it. She said, just forget it then. I tried to apologize for being rude, and she ignored me. A few days ago, she asked for help paying for rent and offered to repay the loan as soon as she could. I could help, but I don't want to. I feel like I'm being used. It hurts that she only ever contacts me when she wants money. So, am I the a-hole? Why do you feel bad for accurately calling her out for using you? Like, totally not the a-hole. Please stop funding her life. You're so desperate for a relationship with her that you're allowing her to manipulate you into giving money. Don't fall for that crap. I feel bad because I don't want my nieces to go without. My family and I try to look out for one another without getting into each other's personal lives or finances without invitation. There was a bit of parentification going on when I was a kid too, so I kind of see her as a daughter of sorts. Still not your issue. She is an adult and is responsible for her decisions and kids. She is using you. Try reading what you just wrote, but pretend a friend wrote it. Often we are too close to a situation to see the truth. Don't give her any more money. Best of luck to you. I am huge into family, but not to the point of being used. You are the oldest. Stop being passive and get a straight answer by asking straight questions. Start asking the other siblings what her problem is. Why is she leaving you out and excluding you? Make this a family issue since Sarah keeps reiterating that she is into the family. Info, I feel like we're missing something big here. Do you know why Sarah's always been so distant with you? I think it's because she and I are so far apart in age. I don't really know, to be honest. Not the a-hole, but refusing her could put you in a bad situation with the family. Have you talked to your family about this? Maybe point out that she blatantly left you out of her post about family and show them your receipts of her only contacting you for money. I've talked with a sister and brother that she's closest to about it. They said they talked to her, but that I should just let it go and stop trying so hard to win her affection. They said that I need to just stop sending her money. Apparently she used to hit them up all the time until they cut her off financially, and said that she's a grown woman who can and should take care of herself. There's your answer. Cut her off. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for pressing charges on my mom when my family told me not to? I, 18 female, and my boyfriend, 22 male, have been living in our first apartment together for a while now. completely independent from our parents. I have never had a good relationship with my mom, 37 female. I had been taken away from her for severe neglect as a young child and was raised by my great-grandparents, 84 male plus 80 female. She wasn't a part of my life for 13 years. When my grandparents eventually passed from old age, she regained custody and moved me across the province I live in. Anyway, when we had settled in our new place, because I have better credit than my boyfriend, we were looking into getting our Wi-Fi under my name. But when I called the best provider in our little rural area, they explained to me that I owe them over $800, which couldn't make any sense as I've never had an account with them in the first place. They gave me the address in the year that it had first been owned, and it was one of the first places I had lived with my mom. I had been 15. We were on civil terms, and I let her know that because I just had a new job and have moved out. Note that I haven't lived with her since I was 15. I've mainly lived with friends as she's pretty crazy, that I won't give her money for my phone bill that I didn't owe her. But was going to anyway until she paid a balance owing under my name. Because not only was my credit now horrible, but we couldn't get Wi-Fi, and that's something I needed for school/work. She blocked me, cut my phone off, and went to my in-laws to try and break up my relationship with my boyfriend. The only way the money owed can be waived is if I press charges for fraud, but when I asked for advice, it was met with, "How can you do that to your mom? She wouldn't be able to get divorced then. She's on her fourth husband and she had cheated on him. How is that my problem? Anyway, am I the a-hole? Should I do it?" You don't press charges. The province does. The fraud can be shown with your birth certificate. You're not old enough to sign a contract when this account was opened, so provider was negligent. You probably have to file a report with the police, but nothing much will happen to your mother. P.S. Get a credit report because she didn't just do this once. This is good advice. She stole money from you and tried to sabotage your relationship with your partner. This is astonishing and abnormal. You don't owe her anything. It seems like you can't demand your overly strenuous relationship either way, so you have nothing to lose. It may seem bad from an external perspective to people who don't know the situation well, but their opinion doesn't matter. Only yours. You need to cover this debt, fix your credit, and get a Wi-Fi, which is crucial for your studies and work. The real question is, how can your mother do that to you? She was an egg donor who has abandoned her responsibility to you, and has literally committed a crime by stealing your identity and leaving you with a bad debt that's harming your ability to live your life successfully. Will these relatives who don't want you to press charges pay the bill? If not, then ignore them for suggesting you just eat your mother's crime. If the mom did it here, how many more lines of credit/accounts did she open in Opie's name? Continue with the charges. She does not have your best interest in mind. Also, the company entered into a contract with a minor which is illegal. Minors cannot be in a contract in the US. Apparently, your mom represented herself with your name, but the company did not do due diligence to avoid providing service to a minor. Access a free credit report every year starting now. Identify if other illegal charges are there. Best to you. Opie's in Canada, I believe, based on province, so the Crown presses charges, not an individual. Also, it is illegal here too, just so you know. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not involving myself in my ex-husband's child's life? I, 25 female, ex-husband, 29 male, and I divorced a year ago after I found out that he had an affair son, Carl, 1 male. By that time, I already had Adam, 3 male, and Ben, 1 male. Since my husband had an affair, he lost any right to alimony or child support from my part due to prenup stipulations. He also lost his job at my dad's and a car. When he came back begging me for an opportunity, he disclosed that Carl's mom passed away during childbirth, and we were the only family he had. I was hurt for his betrayal, but yet I still felt love for this man, and didn't want to hurt a motherless child, so I told him that I would revoke his mandatory child support payments, because I don't really need them thanks to my dad, so he could focus on doing what was best for Carl and that anything he did, monetary, for our kids was welcome but not necessary. The problem was that, a few months after the divorce, he grew comfortable enough to ask me about how to take care of a child, to the point where he would try to leave me with Carl while I explained. After I realized what was he doing and when I confronted him, he admitted that he was trying to create a bond between us so his child could have a mom too. I immediately put Carl in his arms and said that while I was sorry for the loss of his mother, I'm not willing to play mommy of his affair kid, and to never bring the subject again. He told me how unfair I was being, because now that he's young, it's the perfect time to make an introduction, and how awful it will be for Carl to see his brothers grow up with me. I felt pressured, so I took our kids and told them to contact me again through a lawyer for any future discussion. When I got home, I told my family what happened, and while almost everyone agreed with me, my mom said that I was a horrible human being because that child had no mother, and that she raised me better than this. My dad tried to defend me as well as my sisters, but my mom said that what happened between my ex and I didn't have anything to do with an innocent child, and she hopes I do the right thing, and I love the child. She's also pressuring me to buy things for the kid and make space in my home, such as giving him a bedroom at all, because she won't allow that I take my kids home and he's left there alone. But I said that I don't want to involve myself with him, and now she's not talking to me unless I agree. Now for the top comments. Yikes. Not today, home. Girl, I'm throwing you a parade for your fantastic boundaries and compassion. The dude broke your trust and your heart, and then took advantage of your gracious decline of child support. His decision to have an affair behind your back and then insist you be responsible to mother the child is abhorrent. Your mom sounds like she is grieving that he is no longer her son-in-law and wants everything to feel like a family again. She probably figures since the other woman has passed away, all harm is bygone, and now everything can go back to the way it was. That's absolutely not the case. It's absolutely on your ex-husband to parent the child, which probably has him beside himself with the responsibility he resents. The child's loss of a mother is tragic, but no reasonable person could believe that your presence could right that wrong. His mother has passed away, no one can replace her. His dad cheated on you and has flat out admitted to manipulating you multiple times to make his life more convenient. The baby deserves better 100%, but that doesn't obligate you to put up with worse. Maybe your mom should adopt him. That child is nothing more to you than every other motherless child in the land. Suggest, sincerely, that your ex get busy and find a loving and gentle new wife who wants to be a mother to his child. There are lots of women out there who would be interested. My infertile friend actually married a widower with 3 kids, and admitted it was as much to be a mom as to be a wife. Several years in, they are very happy. I disagree the child is nothing to her. It's her children's sibling. This is a stickier situation than it could be because their half-brother is going to feel left out. Is that her problem to fix? No. She's not a-hole for boundaries, but I can't help but feel for a kid that's gonna see his brothers go spend time with mom when he doesn't have one. Dad could use that time to make his son feel special, or he could be an A. That's not Opie's responsibility at all, but my heart hurts for that kid, and I get her mom's point. Hopefully as they get older, she might allow sleepovers if the older 2 ask for him to come over, but she wouldn't have to. It would be noble of her to do it on her own volition, but Dad is being sneaky and a jerk about things. I see your point, sort of, but not really. Why should a woman and her kids be forced to even know or ever meet the children the man sires on mistresses, one-night stands, or affairs? Sure, they're siblings in the sense of a man's DNA. Why is that even important? Why can't they be thought of as a sperm donor's other offspring? Why all the sibling stuff? NTA, NTA, NTA. I'm horrified at your mom's suggestions. It's an affair child for crying out loud. How would your mom feel if your dad suddenly came home with an affair child? Not very good, I'd suppose. It would ruin the family, I presume. Now, your kids are still young, but if they were any older and they understood this, they probably won't be very welcoming of this kid too. You are not a saint, and you do not owe that child and your ex anything. No, no, no. Even if the child did nothing wrong, why do you have to live with the proof of your ex's infidelity? It would take a toll on you and affect your emotions. How would your mom feel if your dad suddenly came home with an affair child? She would probably take him in. My mom herself is an affair kid. She says that not having someone loving you or accepting you is horrible, and that I'm in a position to help because the baby's young, motherless, I have the time and money, so I have to do what's best. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my nephew it's not his birthday? My daughter's 7th birthday was yesterday. We went by my mom/her grandma yesterday for dinner, cake, and gifts. My brother and my nephews were there too, and daughter gets along well with her cousins. My mom has this birthday crown that she has the kids wear when it's their birthday. One of my nephews, 5, asked my daughter if he could wear the crown for a little bit. She agreed. Then when we were doing cake, he asked her to help her blow out candles. She said sure. I kinda looked at my brother, hoping he'd say something to his son, but he didn't. Then when we were giving my daughter her gifts, my nephew, who still had a crown on, asked my daughter if he could help her open her presents. I stepped in and said, "No, it's her birthday, not yours. Let her open her gifts by herself." My nephew seemed kinda pouty. Thing about my daughter is she's too nice sometimes, and has a hard time if she thinks saying no will hurt feelings. This seemed like one of those times. Later, my brother said nephew was just having fun. It wasn't that big of a deal. The brother and his wife let him open their gifts on their birthdays, and he knows they're not his gifts to keep. I said, yeah, but that's you, an adult. She's a kid and should get to celebrate her own birthday without sharing it. My brother said I'm teaching my daughter to be mean. Am I the a-hole? He is teaching his son that he always has to get his way and be the center of attention. 5 is plenty old enough to realize that other people matter, and not every day is about them. His kid is being raised to be entitled. Wait till he tries that at a school friend's birthday party. This happened at a party when my daughter was in kindergarten. One of the attendees had an absolute screaming meltdown because she was not allowed to blow out a birthday child's candles, nor open the presents. Turned out to be the child my daughter had talked about all year who was always throwing tantrums. We did not invite her to my daughter's party that following summer. Not a day home. You're teaching your daughter it's okay to say no and have boundaries. A nephew needs to learn how to hear no and respect boundaries. This is important. Opie, I don't want to put the fear of God into you over an interaction between 2 cute little kids, but do not let your brother teach your daughter that saying no is being mean. Jesus freaking Christ. This is so important. Not stay home. Teach your daughter that saying no is her right and doing so is not mean, no matter how bratty her cousin is. Also, give the girl back the birthday crown for crying out loud. Who does that?